this computer. Carding in progress. So next week, live and in the flesh for one morning only will be Paul Watson at our venue in Kensington. Then we'll have Clive, and then we'll have Aisha. And I know this is a short list, but if you go onto the Google Docs, the full list is there, and I'll update this slide for next week. You're all down there for the upcoming sessions. This week, we're going to have a special interactive session, and I'll leave Paul Webb to talk more about it. But it's going to be featuring Dr. Catherine. And so just a couple of facts about Dr. Catherine. She was awarded a PhD. She was the youngest person in the UK at the time to be awarded a PhD in 1976. She featured on the BBC Two Money programme in 1987. She was president of the Franco-British Construction Industry Group by 1992. And she set up Renova Limited Solar Energies in 1996, apologies. These are just a few highlights from Dr. Catherine's long and, I can't think of the right word, but amazing career. I think amazing we'll have to do when I can't think of the word I wanted to. Dr. Catherine has been there and done everything and broken the gas ceiling. And I'd like to hand over to Paul Webb now, who's going to talk to us about Dr. Catherine.
Morning, everybody, and thank you for this opportunity. I'm very honoured to be able to sort of implement this 10-minute feature presentation. I'm focusing on Catherine, and she's been a really great member within this group, and she's become a close friend of mine and helping me within my business. And for my recognition today, I want to give back to her and provide this feature presentation in a different format today. So what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on a real live one-to-one with myself and Catherine, and I'm going to be focusing on, as Clive said in the education moment, the G.A.I.N.S process, and we're going to do a G.A.I.N.S interview for Catherine today. So Catherine, thank you very much for your membership and what you've been doing for the group and for me personally. And hence I've dressed for the occasion because, you know, I know you like a man in a suit, a blue suit specifically, and I've even got my lucky tie on for you today. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A lot of friends would say I actually prefer men when they're in the bath, but never mind.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. That'd be the next face-to-face one. So thank you, everyone. So please, I do stress that we take notes during this presentation because this is like you doing a one-to-one with Catherine, and we want to go out and find her referrals and help her with her business. So first of all, Catherine, thank you very much for this opportunity. So can you tell the group what your goals are, your personal goals and your business goals?
My personal goal is to have a Maybach car, and which goes with the professional goal, which is to really be the go-to, if you like, the go-to coach to people who might be executives in particular, who might be seeking another input into their lives because they don't have anybody to really speak to them or to really challenge them. A lot of executives get to a level where their employees are not going to be telling them the truth. And as a former executive myself, I have, if you like, I have the courage to do that. Thank you.
Brilliant. And you've got an immediate goal that you're working on. Can you share that with us? Your book?
Oh, my book. Oh, thank you, darling. Oh, it's plugging my book. Yes, it's called Stepping Into My Shoes. It'll be coming out in spring this year. And it is based on my extensive, as Mark kindly pointed out, extensive corporate experience, and inviting the reader from the beginning to participate in the book so that the book becomes a workbook. And in each chapter, there is a section called Ask Yourself, in which you're invited as the reader either to say what you've learned from that or what you'd have done differently. And hopefully it's also something you can go and visit again in 2 years' time and say, yeah, I learned that time, and this is what I did, and reflect on whether it's working or not.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to actually reading that book, and I've got my order in already. So good luck with that. Any ideas when that will be out for us all to see?
Thank you. It'll be in the spring.
Brilliant. Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, Catherine, I've known you since your membership within Kensington, and obviously just before then, and I've heard all your achievements. Can you try to sum up all your achievements for us? Is there anything that really sticks out for you?
Strangely enough, it's one that I accomplished when I was working for Robert Maxwell, the editor and very famous swimmer. And I was heading up at the time a company called Maxwell Satellite Communications. What was then called the DTI, which is now the Department of Business and Energy and goodness knows what else, decided to deregulate the telecommunications industry. At the time, BT really had a monopoly, and Cable and Wireless, who was the second telecom company, as well as Hull, for some reason, had this grip on telecoms in the UK. DTI decided to release 6 licenses for out of 23 applicants. And these licenses would enable the winning companies to have access to satellite communications. So we applied with a very big, enormous disadvantage. We applied as Maxwell Satellite Communications, whilst the same body, the same DTI, had decided that Mr. Maxwell was not fit to run a public company. So you're going in there, you know, with the name blazoning and really making a presentation. That was my that was my managing director and our technical director. I was the I was the CEO, to convince the DTI that, like the other 22 applicants, we were, out of all of those, we were the best. Anyhow, to cut a long story short, we were one of the successful companies, even though we were a teeny little company and wearing the name of Maxwell. Maxwell was really chuffed. He called me up that evening to congratulate me, whereas he rarely phoned me at home, contrary to what you might hear about people. And he said to me, "I've just been speaking to David." David, by the way, is Lord Young. "I've just been speaking to David. I hear you got one of the licenses." I told him I wasn't surprised at all, that you were prettier and tougher than them. Doesn't quite work in this day of Me Too and everything else, but we are in the 80s. So that sort of language was quite normal in those days.
Oh, well, amazing story. So we all know one of your pastimes that you really enjoy and you're interested in, but is there anything that we don't know about you regarding your interests?
Yes, it actually goes with that pastime, which I presume you're referring to, food and wine. I actually composed, what is it called? I've forgotten the word, a treatment for a new TV program. And it was to follow a person, that could have been me, or it could have been somebody famous, going shopping with a woman or a man and creating a dinner party or creating some sort of social event at home. It didn't go very far, but on the other hand, and perhaps a bit by coincidence, programs like Dine With Me and Come Dining, etc., subsequently have appeared on television. So I think I had the right idea, but perhaps a bit too early or
Brilliant.
too late.
Okay, so we obviously know that you're a BNI member and that's your network. Do you have any other networks that you're involved with?
Quite a few, yes. I'm a member of the Albright. It's a club only for executive women. I'm a member of She Leads Change. I am a member of another club, which Neural has come across, called the Trouble Club, which is, yes, yes, I didn't have difficulty getting into that one, I can tell you. And a couple of other institutions like that. But I will say the one that works the best in terms of getting to know the other person in the network is undoubtedly BNI. And that comes from what Clive was saying earlier about having structured one-to-ones, where you get to know somebody and you meet them once a week. And you get to understand them. And hence why maybe I have been successful in this chapter too, because I've got to know the members and I've got to know what they want from BNI.
For that. And then I'd like to touch on your skills, Catherine. Is there any particular skills that you feel that you bring to this team and your business?
Well, I'm certainly a very strong networker. I always have been. I didn't gain that by BNI. I had it a long time ago. In fact, a long time ago, I was when I was with Institutional Investor. We had a meeting in Puerto Rico, and I was asked to do a presentation about networking to the audience. Well, there were about 100 people from all over the world. And I did. I didn't think anything about it. And then a couple of weeks later, I realized that the reason they'd asked me is because I'm actually quite good at networking. So yes, and what else? I hope my humor. I'm very, very, very interested in humor, and I discuss it in the book. Both Saeed and Nurul have been victims and have contributed to my chapter on humor. Because humor is a very powerful tool. It enables you to diffuse a situation. It enables you to get people on side, but only if it's sincere humor. Made up humor doesn't work.
That's a very valid point. And there's always a story which we won't share today, but we always talk about your first company car and you took home to your parents you're very proud of, but I'll let you share that on your one-to-ones with the group. So lastly, I'm going to go off direction regarding the gains as such. And just for the benefit of this group, I'm going to ask you two questions. So the first question is, what is your bread and butter referral that we can help you with?
Really, it's an executive who's a bit lost in his job, or even an entrepreneur who started a business. And it's just got to that stage where it's growing, but there's hesitation and you can't really talk to your colleagues about it. And you want to talk to somebody who is uncertain about the path to take, and to have somebody a bit like a commission in a way, somebody you can get things off your chest and say, look, I've got this problem with XYZ. And this is where my corporate experience comes in as well. There are a lot of coaches out there, but not many of them have actually been an executive themselves. And that's, I think, a big plus.
And lastly, it can only be, what is your champagne referral? What's that, the one referral that you would really love us to go and find you?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me to do a review of champagnes. Probably a person who is very successful in one business, but has got an idea for another business. And they don't know how to start this new business. And they don't know how to manage their time to make project number 2 as much as a success as project number 1. And to have, so that they can use me as a sounding board. And as I said earlier, a bit like can you be a mother confessor? I know you have father confessor, but anyhow, to have people, somebody like me, who's got very well concealed gray hairs and can bring in some wisdom and advice.
Thank you very much. I hope that helped everyone within the group.
Thank you all.
Just lastly, thank you, Catherine. I'm very proud to say that you're a member within this chapter, and I'm very proud to say that you're my friend. So thank you.
Likewise, likewise. Thank you.
Back to Freddie in the room.
Thank you very much. A fantastic 10 minutes there. Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you, Catherine. And I can just some feedback. I know some ladies who have had one-to-ones with you, Catherine, who are in absolute awe of you and your career and a true trailblazer. And yeah, we're really blessed to have you here in our group. So thanks again. We're going to move on now. So actually, before I move on, I hope we all made notes there on